Hi, IPM Indore, one of the most coveted institutes that you would like to get into. If you are just a second, guys. If you are interested in getting into the most coveted IIM after 12th, the IPM entrance that you have cracked, and now that you are going into the interview, there is only one small gap between getting the interview very right and making sure that your scores that you got after your exam are fulfilled properly. And that is making sure that your the student profile form that you have to fill, where there are two questions, of which one of them is a very, very important question, is filled correctly. What we will see in the very short video today, and I hope you are also seeing it live, is what is it that the IIM is expecting you to write in that essay. We will look at that straight away. I hope you can see the form that I can show you right now. And if my colleague can quickly tell me if it is fine. Yes, you can see this form. In the next 20 minutes, we will look at very quickly looking at, hey, what should you do to make sure that your chances of making it to the final selection, are properly done. Okay, there's some issue with the form, guys. That's why I'm just going back and forth. But here is what the first thing is. When you open your form, the student data form, your details are normally pre-filled. Your application number, your name, your gender, the date of birth, the category that you belong to, whether you are PWD or not, and the mobile number and email ID. One of the first things that you need to check is make sure that each and every one of these information, the pieces of information, is correctly populated in your student data form. The second thing, of course, is the caste name and the caste certificate, if at all you belong to any of the SC/STs in that sense, or OBC for that matter, and whether that has already been uploaded properly or not. This is something which is very, very clear, and all of you have to go through it if you belong to the category. If you are a general category student, the last two will not be even important. If there has been a mistake that you might have done in the date of birth or the gender or the category or the name itself, or for that matter, mobile number and email ID, which is very, very important. Very unlikely that there would be a mistake here, because if you are logged into it, you obviously would have got something before it. If by any chance there is a mistake, what I would suggest is make sure that you quickly speak to the admissions coordinator at IIM Indore to make sure that these are properly done. The second part of it is, of course, the academic details. Now, normally it may or may not be pre-filled, because obviously your HSC marks or the 12th class marks are not ready. Fill in carefully if it is not pre-filled. Only 150 students get into IIM Indore's IPM program among 18,000 people who probably have written this exam, which means to say that you cannot go back and tell people that, hey, I made a small mistake, I did not know what I was doing, kind of things, because you are the most sought after person. Therefore, if you want to be in the top 150, you can't make too many mistakes. So keep that in mind, is what I would say without fail. The next thing, which is the most important 2 points that are going to come in. I'm going to take a little more time, and if you have questions, I'm going to take those questions also as we go along. But let me finish this part of it so that any questions that you have, we will take it up one by one. The question number one, by the way, this has been the same question for a long time. It's not the new question. In fact, those students who have written it for the last few years, of course, you can't write it all the time, but we have seen that exactly the same form is given to students every year. So you can be ready for that. Tomorrow is the last date. So tomorrow, that is 21st of July, is the last date. So you have 24 hours to prepare for this. This is an easier one. Please list scholastic award or scholarships conferred on you during your school education at secondary and higher secondary or equivalent in curricular, co-curricular and extracurricular activities at, please note, at the district level, state level and the national level. Very clearly, one question that comes to a lot of people saying, sir, I don't have anything at the district level, state level or the national level. What should I do? My answer to that would be, if let's say this is curricular level, let's say it could be a IMO, the International Maths Olympiad, or SFO of any of the other Olympiads for that matter. If at all you have it, district level, school level, state level, whatever the rank may be, you can put it. Any science exhibitions, curricular, probably. Any full marks that you have got in 10 on 10 and you've got some Pragati award or some maths award or a science award or a Hindi award for that matter, any of the awards that you probably would have got from the state government, from the district government, from the district panchayat or whatever, and or at the national level, please make sure that you put in there. Similarly, the second one, curricular will be more like first, second rank in ICSE or 8th, 9th, 10th classes kind of things. Co-curricular.
So the slide is not changed.
Okay. Is it still the same?
Yeah, it's the first slide still.
It's what can you see now?
IIM Indore filling personal data form, the first slide.
I think there is a issue. So we'll discard this and go with that. Okay. Let me see if is it now clear? Yeah. So friends, I guess I was talking about the scholastic awards that you might have got at the district level, state level, or the national level. It is important to note that IIM Indore is expecting you to write only, ideally, if you have got any of the curricular, which could be state rank, district rank, in ideally 10th, of course, or in 12th. 12th results probably are not out for, except for ICSE. Or even if there is any kind of an award that you have got at the curricular level, please go ahead and put it. So you can put it in 3 parts. Curricular, co-curricular. Co-curricular could be something like an IMO, the International Maths Olympiad, or any of the English Olympiads, Science Olympiads, any such kind of things. Anything beyond, and let's say you have won something at the science exhibition or maths exhibition or whatever else exhibition for that matter. But anything to do with co-curricular. You would have been a Hindi Samrat somewhere or a Telugu Samrat or something like that. Could be put it up. Similarly, the third one is extracurricular. It could be in any sports and games. Any sports and games, chess or carom, or it could be, volleyball, table tennis, badminton, swimming, wherever you would have probably at least participated. Now, the interesting thing is, even if you have not won the award, while the form very clearly says that any award, please list it, if instead of leaving it completely blank, if you have at least participated at some other level, what I would suggest is to write 1 sentence or 2 sentences on where you have participated at the district, state, or the national levels. That is very important. But make sure that this particular part of it is in 3 parts. Curricular, if there is anything to write. If there is nothing to write, don't say that not available. Just leave it. Co-curricular, if something is available, write it down. And extracurricular, if something is available, write it down. Extracurriculars will also include national debate, the MUNs for that matter. Somebody would have participated in any such kind of things, would also be counted in your extracurricular things. Right? But I will come down to the most important question that each one of you should at least spend 6-7 hours of time to not write once, but maybe write twice, thrice, so that you get a very good essay of why do you wish to go for management education? This question is a very important question. And in your interview, when you go to the interview, whatever you write here will also be asked. In fact, there is a very good chance, while we talk about interview, what will come in the interview, etc., kind of things, because there are so many, there are only 150 seats, and they would have called about 450, 500 students or 600 students for the interview. They would want that the best guy, the best student who is very clear, at least as of today, of why he or she wants to do an MBA with a 5-year integrated program. See, remember, you wanted to do an MBA, later you could have done a 3-year degree and then looked at an MBA. But here we're talking about a 5-year integrated MBA, but from IIM Indore straight up. That means at the 12th standard level, you have to be, or you're expected to be clear about your preferences. And that is the reason why this question comes into picture. Now, how do you go about doing it? Here is what I would say. First, how many words? The first question that people ask is, how many words should be there in the question? How many words that essay should have? I think around 200, 250, even 300 words. If you can write, it's more than sufficient. If you can go up slightly higher, no problems. But a 200 to 300 word essay is a very, very good essay. Having said that, what should you have in the 3 parts of it? I would say the first part of it should be your introduction of how you have lived all your life till 12th. What are the influences that you have had? What kind of let's say internships that you might have done after your 10th class or 11th class or even in 8th or 9th classes? Any seminars that you would have attended, any books that you would have read probably. The first paragraph, in fact, you can convert this into a 3-paragraph essay. The first paragraph is an introduction to who you are, what your background is, who has influenced you, what has been your influence, everything on that nature. So, for example, let's say your parents are business people, or your father is probably an IIM or from any of the MBA institutes, or somebody has influenced you. So you start with giving a broad introduction, but don't start saying that, hey, my name is so and so, I am from so and so school, I'm 10th class, I've got so and so marks. These information, this kind of a statement doesn't make sense for a simple reason that that's already there in your academic details. So here they are looking at more of a kind of an introduction, what kind of a person you are, what kind of influence that you might have had. That's your first passage, the first paragraph. The second paragraph is, given this background, why would you want to take up an MBA? What is your future goal? If there is a future goal that you have, even if it's not a future goal of 15 years, 20 years, do you have something like saying that, hey, what could be your career goal 10 years, 8 years down the line? That means 5 years you will do integrated program, another 5 years. So you're talking about today you are 18, let's say you are at 28, where you would like to be, 28, 30, where would you like to be? It could be starting, you might be influenced by any startups, you might be influenced by, various business personalities, and therefore, or your own parents for that matter, chacha, chachi, or whoever that is, who has influenced you to take up the management. So what are your career goals? Where do you wish to be, let's say 10, 12, 15 years maximum from now? So the first paragraph is an introduction. Second paragraph is where do you want to reach in terms of career plans? And the third one, again, is the most important part. Why 5-year integrated program in management from IIM Indore? This third part, you will have almost the answer in it on the website of IIM Indore itself. The vision of the 5-year program, the first 3-year curriculum, what kinds of learning that you will get, what are the clubs that you will have, what are the kind of orientation you will get. Given the background that you have and the career goals, if you see that you want to reach these career goals, given your background, what is missing is the learning. What is missing is the inputs that you need from a formal management program kind of a thing like IIM Indore. If you can pick up the most important parts which influenced you, which attracted you, which make you feel that this is the place that I want to be, that should be your third and final paragraph. So just to rework on, just to quickly give you how to write this. See, this is not the only way of writing it, but you can write it in many number of ways. But this is probably one of the best and ideal ways. First, 8 to 10 lines about your introduction, about who you are, what has been your influence, what are your learnings till that point of time. You know, if you have won any contests, school, you've been a leader, let's say as a captain of a school, or a prefect of a school, captain of a house, captain of a sports team. You know, each of these things would have influenced you to think of MBA or a management as a career. That is your first part. The second part is going to be, okay, now that this is influenced, what is it that you would like to reach, let's say 10 years down the line, 15 years down the line, whichever that earliest that you can think after your graduation. And the third one will be how IIM Indore, the 5-year program integrated management, what are the ingredients in that? What are the 5-year inputs that you get, which will kind of, you know, make you reach your goal. So it's a 3-part essay. Slightly, it's ideally should be like your background, why IIM Indore 5 years, and then career goals. This is one way of doing it. But I would suggest that one very nice and perfect way of doing it would be, hey, this is what I am, this is what my career goals are, and how IIM Indore will help me. These are the 3 points that one can very, very simply, neatly put together in this essay. 250 words, so you can make it something like 100 words for the introduction of yours, about 80 words approximately for the career goals, and another 70 words why IIM Indore. If you can put that into 1, 2, 3 or 3 paragraphs, I would say this particular answer would be complete. And then let's look at some of the other questions. School scholarship award can be put ideally, default gaming, no. Sir, I have done a finance internship. Yes, you can add that as a curricular achievement kind of things without any doubt, or co-curricular achievement, I beg your pardon. Then you have come third in my college in 12th. Can I put this? Frankly, in a third in a college may not be district level or a state level. If you have nothing else, HM, then I would say go ahead and say that, okay, boss, I have done this. Beyond that, I would say probably leave it. Then we have Ashwini saying, sir, being a volunteer with an NGO be mentioned in extracurricular? Yes, but again, if it's an NGO, which is a national NGO or is a small NGO, you can look at it. But this particular thing, in fact, let me go back to HM. I have third in my college in 12th. This you can use it in your why do you wish to go in this second question. It can be used. Similarly, Shivam, you can use this finance internship in this answer which is there on the screen for this particular question in your first paragraph of your essay, because that is where the interest comes in. Similarly, Ashwani Bhatia, you can also use this. I have been a volunteer of an NGO as an extracurricular activity. So, you know, very few people are volunteers or takes up something when they are in their school and or high school. You are a person who has believed that, look, you want to do beyond what a normal student does. That is what will come across when you talk about this kind of an information, and hence you can go ahead and talk about it. Ronak is saying, sir, I have received gold medal for 7 years of academic performance in school. Definitely, Ronak, I would say you should go ahead and write it, though it is not district level, but for the question number 1, go ahead and say that, because there is a consistency that is being talked about. Default gaming is saying, sir, what if I leave blank? Frankly speaking, you leave it blank, it is not going to reduce your chances of making it to the IIM Indore. However, if there is a participation also, I would say, please go ahead and put it across. I don't have any other achievement, should it leave it? This is exactly what HM I am saying. Please go ahead and leave it if there is nothing else in extracurricular, curricular or co-curricular. Where does social service come? Social service is an extracurricular activity, Jay Singhal. But typically it is, I mean, at that place, the city that you would work for, unless it's a very, very big, large NGO, you can use it. But what I would want you to use it is use this social service that you have done in question number 2. Okay? Ronak, if default gaming is saying same here, Ronak, then you can do the same thing for what Ronak does also, right? So once again, let me come back to you. We have already taken one session of how to prepare for this IIM interview. 35% of your chance of getting into an IIM Indore depends on the interview. But prior to the interview, this particular form filling is very, very, very important. And hence, I request you to first make your own answer, talk to your center director, center managers, or your faculty members, whoever who has been, or your parents itself. Make sure that they go through it more than once. There should not be any spelling mistakes. There should not be ideally any grammatical mistakes. And because if you make even those kind of mistakes, people will say that, boss, you don't want to go into an IIM Indore. If you want to go to an IIM Indore, you can't afford to make such kind of a mistakes as such. Yes, you can. Default gaming is asking, sir, I have got 100 rank in IMO at the district level. Should I mention it? My answer is yes to that. Absolutely yes to that. Once again, with at Career Launcher, we will be helping you, all the students who are our students and got a interview call from IIM Indore. Please get in touch with your respective centers and or teachers or counselors. We will ensure that this form that you're filling will be checked by some of them. If you can send it in time, don't keep it for the last moment, but finish that in the night today, so that tomorrow morning you will have time for the faculty member will have time for going through and checking it. But more importantly, we will also help you in giving you mock interviews. Make sure that you don't miss that out. With that, thank you so much. Wish you all the very best, guys. This is the best chance that you have to get into an IIM immediately after 12th. Don't leave it. With that, thank you and all the very best.